Alright, this was a recommendation from a Martian in my comments. Alpha Strike 42, the second part of the story with David Tennant's daughter. This is written by Bill Bungalow, and the mystery should be, is it any good? The answer is not really. We have Alpha Strike here, David Tennant's daughter, Cara Tennant. She has gone to Alpha Strike for help, but in order to get to them, she had to betray Northman's trust, and she used her powers to control him and force him to bring her to the rest of the team. When she controls someone, they turn purple. When they are under her control, they become purple. And in this, they specifically say that this is unique to her and not something that happens with her dad's power. But starting with Dairy Devil Yellow, they show her dad's power that way too. Alpha Strike, they debate what a day about Cara Tennant, and the only real actual character in the mix at this point is Northman, who now hates her and feels like he has been violated by her. Speaking of Northman, here is a bad page for him. First, we have a hint of his homosexuality, except it is used as an insulting punchline. And then 2 panels later, he starts suffering from AIDS. I think this might be the very first appearance of Northman's very unique strain of AIDS, which later turns out to be the common cold. Cara Tennant, she gets fed up of them debating amongst themselves, and even the out-of-character suggestion that they kill her. So she decides to run away from them. There is also a subplot about a paraplegic man suffering from the bends. And that is something I didn't really want to see Bill Bungalow write. He goes full-on psycho crazy in a few issues, and then he dies. My main beef with this issue is that there isn't really a focus. The issue before this was really good. That was part of the reason that I was happy to check this one out. But what that issue did was it framed the story cleverly through the eyes of Northman. You had your focus, you had Cara Tennant, you had Northman. It wasn't just about introducing a new character, it was developing her, and at the same time doing stuff and saying things with Northman, and an intriguing bond between the two of them. This one just doesn't have a central focus. Cara Tennant is meant to be up front, but she doesn't really do much. Northman, you would assume that he would do more this issue since the story began with him, but he really does take a back seat after the first few pages, and there is no resolution or payoff to her controlling him. She guns off and starts using her powers to get whatever she wants, but this only goes on for a page. It doesn't seem to have any direction in mind here, and it gets worse. We are introduced to an evil bad guy called the Auctioneer, and even his name annoys us because it should be Auctioneer. He kidnaps Cara Tennant and he tries to sell her off at auction, and this is just stupid. They do some enormous cartwheeling to explain how her power isn't working on them and how she can't use it to escape just so that she can be captured. And this sequence, it lasts a couple of pages, and this being the payoff to the story is terrible. It is really a pathetic last-minute bad guy. And there is actually another issue of Alpha Strike that is based around a bad guy doing an auction, and they rightfully didn't bring back the auctioneer to host it because he is the auctioneer. He is one rung up the ladder from Blowtorch brand. This is one of the worst comic book villains of all time. Blowtorch brand from the Defenders, the Auctioneer from Alpha Strike. Abysmal. Alpha Strike show up and save her, and now would be a great time to have Northman super speed in and save her, so there is some form of a resolution to that arc, but we didn't get that. Instead, Northman, he gets cut and points out that he is bleeding. What if a madman broke in here with a machine gun and shot him to pieces? Anyone in this scene yawning would get his blood in their mouth. Get away from us. Get away from us with your bad aids. We have this bit that is almost interesting. She tells the auctioneer to drop dead, and he seems to do so, but then they note that he's not really dead. It is just his body simulating death because of her commands. By the end, Alpha Strike decide to take Cara Tennant on as a trainee. And I did actually laugh at this stupid Northman line where he thinks to himself that she is a little minx. It has been a while since I heard someone use the word minx sincerely like this. Last night I watched a film called Under the Silver Lake, starring Peter Parker. I liked it a lot, but I was weary of it for the first half. I got into it, really enjoyed it. There is a scene with a piano, and that makes the film. Best scene in it. At first, it seems like pretentious bollocks, and there is some pretentious bollocks in it, but there is a narrative, a very accessible and intriguing narrative about Peter Parker trying to solve a mystery. You also see plenty of Peter Parker's arse, and he likes doing women up the bum. I give Under the Silver Lake 7 thumbs up.